Hey, it said live on Facebook.
Oh, it is?
Yep, it updated, so I think we're live.
You do?
I would think.
Oh. Okay. I'm having a hard time seeing or telling. So if we are live, that's a good thing.
Yes.
So hi, folks. I think we're live. Yeah, I see it. I see it on here. Okay. This technology stuff is a little challenging for me, but we're doing it. So Jeff and I have been raising our support this last semester, and we are really pretty close. We're about $900 away, 937 to be exact, from being fully funded. And my date was is our goal has been May the 20th, and I had planned to start this campaign on Sunday night, but we had some family issues happen on Sunday, and so I wasn't able to do it then. So we're going to go through May 20th, and I'm praying. First of all, I'd like to ask you, if you're our friend, to share this. Maybe you know somebody who has been impacted by campus ministry, or just loves to support ministries, or missionaries, or just that you think would believe in what we're doing. But what we're going to do is, for the next 15 days, I'm going to have somebody on with me, and we're going to just share why support Jeff and Laurie in Fort Wayne, Indiana at Chi Alpha. And so tonight, for the first night, I asked Cheyenne, and Cheyenne is our president at the Chi Alpha at Purdue, and she's a core leader. So she leads a core group. And so I'm going to have her share, and then we're going to close up. But I'd like to ask you to share this with people. And if you'd like to join our support team, we'll take supporters, at $2 to $200, any amount. We just appreciate that you're investing in whatever way that you can. And that, because we know that when you do that, you're praying for us as well. So Cheyenne, I'm going to let you just go ahead and share.
All right. Well, I'm so glad you asked me to do this, Laurie. I love the opportunity to just speak on your behalf and on the behalf of missions in general. So my testimony starts, I was coming into my first year of college. I had a year off. That was pretty hard for me coming out of high school, because where I thought God was leading, it turned out the door closed, and it was just a hard year after that for me. So I had this year off, and I came into college on a total step of faith, and I knew that I wanted some church-focused group on campus. I've always loved getting connected. So when I came to school, I was looking for a group, and I ended up meeting Chi Alpha, I'm sure by some directing of God as I look back. And the first night I went to the weekly meeting, I was so overwhelmed, I believe, by the presence of God. And I don't think at the time I would have even called it that, but I was just so moved that so instantly we started worship, and I was just overwhelmed. I was fighting to not bawl in front of everyone because of the emotions that was kind of still hanging on me from my hard year, to then walking into this group that was just so close to God. They were what I was looking for without knowing it. They were this family. So all at once, I remember the first thought was, this is my home. This is my church home, was this group. So starting out pretty strong in that area, I didn't know what all I was getting into at that point, but I knew that it was the place I wanted to be. And that was just last year. So this is my second year. And just, I think especially last year, but even now looking back, the speed of spiritual growth that I've experienced while being in Chi Alpha is kind of beyond my comprehension. I've known Jesus my whole life, but because of some difficult family situations and maybe a hard church group that I was a part of. I never really grew. I knew God and I prayed and I genuinely knew his character, and I wouldn't have felt far from God, but I didn't have the kind of relationship that he calls us to and invites us into, um, as simply as is described by the Holy Spirit. And so I would say that's where Chi Alpha helped, was they showed me who the Holy Spirit was. And um, in my first year at the second conference we go to, I was baptized in the Holy Spirit with evidence of speaking in tongues. And so just explosive spiritual growth all at once that, like I said, I don't really have the words for, but I'm so grateful for. And it feels like I'm where I've always needed to be spiritually. And it's just so wonderful to keep growing, knowing that it's with this group. Um, just to kind of speak to what Chi Alpha is as a mission unit, I guess. It's this national um, college campus specific ministry that just reaches people in a special way. It's not like a church where people necessarily know that they're getting into the heart of God. Um, but it's just a group of people who love people. It's just a nice hangout for college kids. That's as simple as Chi Alpha is at the beginning, especially for the people that maybe don't know Jesus at all that we're reaching. We're just friends and we invite you into fellowship, and it's natural. And that's one of the things that was really something I didn't ever have to question or kind of pull back from, as maybe I might have in the past to protect myself, because of disingenuine believers. But Chi Alpha was just this natural, they didn't ask anything of you, and you didn't have to put anything on or try. It was just come and hang out with us, and it was easy. And I became myself in their midst, and I didn't catch that that's what was happening. I just let my guard down because it was that rich of a friendship between an entire group. It wasn't just one-on-one, it was the entire group of Chi Alpha on this campus. And so that in of itself is a gigantic testimony, because I've always been, not that I would fight off these types of relationships, but I would try to be very careful. So just the unit of Chi Alpha, the way that it's set up, we have weekly meetings that are expected. We set up a date, and that's where we really invite people in first off of the campus. But then one of the sweet parts is the small groups that is specific to Chi Alpha. It's kind of the core of the ministry. That's where I grew in many different ways. I grew a lot in the big group meetings, but the small groups pointed towards different areas of the spiritual journey and have built great relationships for me. And now that I'm leading one, I really see how it turns into trying to lead to wanting to reach people. So that's something that I've already learned as a humble small group leader. And there's just, again, for the unit of Chi Alpha, what the ministry is, I want to stress how the focus is on fellowship in a way that I've never experienced, and I doubt I'll experience in any other place. It's just such a special culture, and culture is what makes a group. So fellowship in this sweet, natural, genuine way is what Chi Alpha is. So that's what you'll be fostering on a campus when you give. And then specifically, Laurie herself and Jeff create another part of the culture. I've watched Laurie, I guess, from joining. So from the beginning when I didn't really know anyone to now, and I've only grown in appreciation for her. She has such a skill, I would say, that probably comes through experience in this ministry of young adults, of balancing availability and also wisdom in creating relationships, and just love in a way that a good leader shows it. I've been so impressed with the availability she's shown me that, again, it's another special thing that comes in our culture of genuine relationship. But for Laurie as a leader and as my pastor, she's so available that it blows my mind. I don't know the words for it. Sadly, I like to have the words for things, but I don't have the words for this one. I've just never felt that I've imposed on her, and that whenever I call, even from a simple conversation to catch up to a great heartrending need, I've just been able to share, and I know I can always call, and that she's genuinely glad that we've connected. I know that from knowing Laurie, and excuse me, she lets everyone in our ministry feel that way, from a simple first time meeting at our group meeting to the leaders like myself who know Laurie well and talk to her often. And at the same hand, I've watched her carefully build new relationships as people come into the ministry. There's this special balance, like I mentioned, of caution and love that I think is just so important and something so specific to Laurie. So one of the things that, I don't know if Laurie will be mad at me or not, but I've come to believe that Laurie is very undervalued in general because of her quiet wisdom. She doesn't flaunt her leadership, but she leads just with her heart. She knows she's following Jesus, and she does her best, and she shows us, I think, especially as we build relationships, just so many things, what we ask and what we need. And Laurie just has such a unique way of leading that may be undervalued because of its quietness on the outside, but on the inside, I know that Laurie prays and defends young adults more than anyone else I know, and in a special way, because it truly is her heart and I would say her gifting. So that's about all I have, but my testimony is one of, I don't have all the words, but I know that God is moving in a very powerful way in my life, more than I can understand, but I'm so grateful for. And I seek to see Laurie and Jeff continue in this ministry because it has impacted so many. People go to missions like you wouldn't believe out of this ministry. It just becomes natural because of the type of love we foster. You just want to keep doing it forever. And Jesus leads where he does. So, Laurie, that's what I have to say.
Well, thank you, Cheyenne. I think I might like this. I'm gonna get feeling really encouraged in the next couple of weeks if everybody's like you. So thank you. But
Yeah.
Cheyenne has just done a really, really good job this year, really taking and ministering to some students in a core group. So her and Katie have worked on that. So, and I'm really proud of all of our leaders. But Cheyenne, thank you very much. Thanks for sharing. And it's been really fun and neat to see how God has really transformed you and just your passion for him. And you pray over everybody and just really seeking God. So thanks so much. Now, if you want to know more, you can contact me. If you just want to jump on our team, if you can go, you can follow the link and you can fill out a faith promise and then set up a reoccurring gift. And like I said at the beginning, any amount. We've got supporters at $10 and we've got them at $200. And I'm trusting God. And if you will pray with me over this, that we will be fully funded by the 20th of May. So thanks so much for your time. If you jumped on here, I couldn't see anybody or any sharing or anything the way we're doing it, but that's okay. I'm just going to trust that somebody is seeing us. So thanks. Thanks, Cheyenne. Love ya.
Yeah, I love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Now I got to figure out how to get off.